Today we're looking at Dragon Quest XI on Nintendo 3DS. As of this recording, this game has not gotten an official localization, which sucks because I know this game is coming out in 2 weeks in the rest of the world, but wouldn't it have been awesome if we had this as the last 3DS game to be released, at least one of them? Square Enix saw how well Octopath did, why not just release this here? Which makes no sense to me, especially with the 2D mode you can use, I'm going to explain later in the review. The story starts out with their mother and child in a castle, which gets attacked by a bunch of mysterious beings, which I'm not going to spoil the entire story because you have to experience it for yourself, which it's coming out in 2 weeks anyway, so I don't want to spoil it for those who haven't played it yet. The game is pretty much a standard turn-based RPG, just like everything you'd play back in the 90s. The gameplay hasn't really changed much from Dragon Quest 11 to Dragon Quest 1, except the only differences is the game is more modern, which, if you look at it right here, there's no random battles, and everything is completely classic turn-based combat, which is great if you're sick of the current action RPG that exists out there right now. This would be a breath of fresh air. No matter what platform you experience this game, it's great. The soundtrack is great. Everything about this game is great. It's what gaming is all about. Like, I'm gonna get more in depth with the rest of the game, but first we're gonna start to talk about the soundtrack. The soundtrack is absolutely great, which I'm not using the soundtrack in this review because I don't want to spoil the music. I'm using music from Dragon Quest X, which is also really great, which I'm not going to review that game right now, but look at this open world. This game is pretty damn big for a 3DS game. Wait till you guys play the PlayStation 4 version. Man, is that game massive. It's way bigger than any Dragon Quest. The only one that's not as big as this game is 8. Wow, which you guys gotta be glad this game's getting localized. Well, first we're gonna start with Yoshi, which is exclusive to the 3DS version. You collect these guys throughout the entire world, which they all the way up to D rank to S rank, which I will explain more of that later in the review. Just like any other, just like 8, you collect items throughout the world every time you defeat an enemy. There's a chance you may get a drop, which will help you make your weapons a lot stronger, which you'll see in a second. The alchemy plot in this game does not exist anymore. This is pretty much replacing it, and this is the campsite you get to see. There's a main hub, which you get to rest, make your items, talk to your characters. This is an example of how the crafting system works in this game. If you look at all these, you have weapons, armor, accessories. Every accessory can be upgraded up to 3 times. If you're lucky, you may only have to do it once if you get a perfect on the smithing mini game, which I'm going to show you right in a second. I'm just showing an example how this works. But I'm warning you, if you want to play this game, you're going to have to know some Japanese. Lucky for me, I do understand Japanese enough where I can get through the game, no problem. It's really not that hard to play if you know what you're doing. So I know I'm dragging on and on with this review, but I just can't help but talk about how great this game is. I'm going to be reviewing the Switch version and the PS4 version later down the road. This is the example I'm trying to tell you with this. See, there's so many different. If you play Dragon Quest X, this would be familiar to you, this system. But I played Dragon Quest X just a little bit, but I have not got to this part yet in Dragon Quest X, which I hope I do get to play Dragon Quest X one day completely. Look at this, is pretty cool, isn't it? You get to, you get that thing in on the screen, which allows you to potentially. If you messed up, if you mess up, there's a chance. Don't worry if you mess up. You're not going to lose your armor and stuff. Which that's an example how to get it perfect right there. There's one thing I forgot to talk about is the skill system, which like Dragon Quest 8 and 9, you get skills after you level up, certain amount of skill points, but if you advocate to certain, like for example, if you want to have your main character be a heavy sword user, you can focus on that, which allows it to do more damage, you know, get certain skills. For example, like if you want to get like Dragon Killer, for example, you focus on the regular sword. And there's one thing I gotta mention before. I gotta mention the Link Zone, because if I don't, the zone is pretty much allows you to have all your characters give you special abilities. But some of them allows you to buff, do special attacks, you know, heal, MP, HP. And this is the mode I'm trying to tell you about, the 2D mode, which it's a shame that I really hope they bring this back in the Switch version when it gets released. I've heard the Switch version is going to have exclusive content, but I don't know what it'll be. This is the exclusive 3DS content I'm talking about that you guys are not going to get in the West. This allows you to visit all 10 worlds, certain locations. Look how cool this is. This is a throwback to the 90s. Look at this. They even have their original battle themes. Not all of them, mind you, because Dragon Quest 7 and 8 don't, but most of the other ones do, with the exception of a few. I'm just going to show an example, you know, how this works. But when you go to the Yoshi dungeon, you have to do that the only way to get these maps, which allows you to go to all these worlds. You have to complete certain quests, all the quests if you want to fight the ultimate boss in here, which for me it wasn't really that difficult. Anyway, I'm gonna let you play this game once it comes out. I'll give my thoughts on the other version at a later date. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Why they should not have left it in Japan. Octopath is proof that this game could have sold well. But it is what it is, I guess. I'm getting towards the end of this review. If you want to get this game, it's going to cost you quite a bit, though. I'm letting you know. It may cost you $50 plus for the game itself and $100 for the Japanese 3DS. If you want to play this game, play it any way it means necessary, even if you have to play an emulator. I don't object to you doing that, because I don't blame you not want to spend hundreds of dollars to play this. This is cool, isn't it? You get to see the overworld like this. I really hope they bring this back in the Switch version. At least this feature. Well, this review is dragging on and on. I will be looking at the Nether version in the future. This has been a really joyride playing this. This has over 100 hours of gameplay easily, 130 if you count all the post game and everything. I'm pretty much gonna end this review now. You guys have a good day and see you later.